but you finally have a backup option. Amaz, instead, chooses to go for a hero power, and that allows him to buff the board while still being able to build it a little bit.
All right. Trump has a Mad Scientist, which I think Hearthstone players know is a reasonable play for turn 2.
And that Frost Giant gives Amaz even more incentive to hero power as the time goes.
Frost Giant is a very interesting card that we were talking about how, you know, it kind of fits in some decks, but maybe not really.
Yeah.
Oh, Totem Golem.
Look at that. So he opted to pass his turn and get another Totem Golem anyways without activating the Overload charge.
Pretty good stuff.
It's amazing.
So we have the Totem Golem, we have the Mana Tide, we have the Vitality Totem, we have the Flame Tide. I guess those are the 4 castable totems at this stage. Maybe there'll be more.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to see if we have more, but look at that aggressive strategy. Amaz not even willing to protect his 3/2 minion, opting to force his opponent into an awkward trade.
Well, he did see that Trump kind of struggled to clear his board in the previous game. Trump had the Blizzard, he had the Cone of Cold, but that doesn't actually do that much damage, and that is, you know, much further on in the game.
Now, Mane in the Lake here is played similar to the Oasis Snapjaw. It's just like a lot of board control early on to fight the early low curve minions.
Yeah, the Oasis Snapjaw, surprisingly to some, they might be surprised to know that's actually an okay card, like in Arena. Wow!
Oh, that is classic Amaz.
Totem Golem, boys.
He came to play.
He came to play indeed.
He came to win.
Well, this Maiden in the Lake is not going to do much. In general, a Snapjaw or a Maiden in the Lake often does okay. Let's see what effigy pops out. Wow, that's terrible.
Not exactly what he was looking for. He was hoping for something that could fight back on board more aggressively, but it still ends up trading for a couple minions on board.
And it's still reasonable value. Like, he invested 3 mana in the effigy, if you think about it. And for 3 mana to get a 2/5, that's a Druid of the Flame.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. There's definitely worse 4 drops out there, too.
Right.
If you get, like, Baron Rivendare, it's a 1/7. Like, what are you going to do with that card against an onslaught of 3/4s? Sneeze Shredder.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to have to hope for if he can live that long.
Yeah, there's no way it would, though. Oh, Loot Hoarder would have been pretty decent, too.
Okay. Well, Trump ends up going for more card advantage, but I don't know if Amaz is planning on taking the slow at all, because he's about to drop his 3rd Totem Golem this game.
Maybe more to come.
Not to mention that Lowly Squire gets buffed again. This is starting to snowball a little bit. I can sense some aggressive shaman strategies coming out, perhaps in the next couple of months when this drops.
Amaz plays a little bit more in... Oh, he does because he has a heal totem. I was thinking he plays a little bit more into Blizzard, but he doesn't need to because it's only 5 mana, and again, he has the heal totem, which makes it so he has a very strong board position. Zerg...
Whoa!
Oh, my! That's next turn.
That's right.
So this turn we absolutely cannot overload, so we're basically playing nothing, I suppose.
Well, yeah, although it is the best to drop that minion just for the tempo, but at the same time, you know what's really interesting, too, is that your board gets a little too full, so you have to be careful to manage your board from expanding too much, otherwise you can't hero power.
Right, right. I kind of like hero power here. Hero power makes the Squire into a 4/2, and with the 1/1 totem, it trades fairly well.
That's a good point.
You kind of want to keep the totems, but yeah, what can you do?
Yeah.
Sometimes
Also,
you're going to lose some.
Something to consider, too, is Shaman already is a class that wants to manipulate the type of totems that they get, so you have to think, do I want to trade the totem in first and then hero power, or do I want to hero power and then trade it in? These kinds of strategies is what makes people love the class.
Well, just if you guys are wondering, Amaz has 5 totems on board.
That's right.
And the Thunderbluff Valiant in hand. Oh, no.
Okay.
Can't do it anymore next turn.
Well, I guess originally he was going to try to go for that Savage Roar type play, but in this case, he says, you have to have a Blizzard or else I'm just going to kill you anyways.
Well, I think he's actually... Oh, he does have lethal. He does have lethal. He has 1 over lethal on the board.
13 damage, and that should wrap it up. I don't believe Trump has any way to survive unless Amaz, for some reason, gets bluffed out of his mind here by that secret play. And I can't imagine it happening. There it is. Shaman takes a game, grip, and evens up the series.
It's really Totem Golem that took the game.
Don't mind it. A victory lap with the Lightning Storm, and you're right. 3 totem golems surviving since the first. I mean, look, none of them died. They all survived.
They all survived. I'm really liking this this new creature archetype. I mean, a lot of the existing tribes in Hearthstone are like kind of good. They just need a few more cards. Totem kind of works because there's already totems in the game for Shaman, and you can manipulate how many you want on the board at any given time, so they don't need as many. On the other hand, with the new cards coming out, we've already seen Mage receive a new Dragon, so maybe Dragon Mage becomes more of a thing.
Sure.
And the possibilities as cards are introduced just gets wider and wider.
What about the Pirate, right? We didn't see the Pirate in action just yet.
Not yet.
But maybe we see Pirate decks become more of a viable thing. I don't know. We're starting to see a few cards. Maybe he's not the only Pirate. We'll have to see in the upcoming 130 cards that will be released in the upcoming month, which is, again, really exciting to see how these archetypes are going to flesh out when the new Grand Tournament expansion comes.
Yeah, and it's, well, it's going to be a very interesting month. I mean, next month is not that far away, and
well, it's in 8 or 9 days. Last time I checked, this has been the beginning of August.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be quite that early, but even still, even in the worst case scenario,
that's when Blizzard customer starts being a little worn down because people are like, it's August 1st. What do you mean the Grand Tournament's not out?
I mean, even in the worst case, we're probably gonna see like what, 3 cards a day on average from here on out.
That's right. In fact, I believe that's what the Grand 20 website you saw is, because they want the opportunity to vote on some cards and be able to see how things go.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys should absolutely check that website out and see as many updates as you can.
Sure. Oh my goodness, look at this. 2 lowly squires in the opening hand with the Totem Golem.
Oh, the double squire play. That's 2 2/2s on turn 2.
That's right. I don't think the squires are feeling that lowly. After they get buffed a couple times, they just become upgraded to 2 drops.
Well, in the last game, we saw the lowly squire hit 4 attack, which is not often a breakpoint of a 1 attack creature.
Nope, not unless
not
you played
anymore, at least.
A year ago.
Not, yeah. There's the Fallen Hero again. The Fallen Hero again, giving your hero power 1 extra damage. I wonder how that works if a priest gets it. Does it heal a unit for 2 and then hit it for 1?
You know what? I feel like it has to do with similar to how the dynamic works with Arcanized Soul Priest. Like, it doesn't necessarily give, or not Arcanized Soul Priest. What's that card that that doesn't give you buff to hero damage if it restores health? For example, like Valen's Chosen doesn't increase the power of healing much. It only increases the damage you deal with like healing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like kind of like spell damage.
Yeah. So I think that's what it has to do with the hero power.
It's interesting. Maybe not. I'm curious, actually.
Well, we'll find out as time goes on, but the most important thing is now we can finally utilize it and shoot down the second lowly squire.
Yeah, well, we know for sure it'll work with hunters. I mean, hunters have a hero power that does damage.
Yep.
Having a hero power that does the same amount +1 would probably work, I'd imagine. I'm sure it works with Shadow Form. Yep. Interesting stuff. Now, people don't regard the Steamwheel Sniper as that crazy of a card. It's not awful, but it's just that Hunter doesn't play that type of game.
Not yet.
But Mage does kind of play that type of game.
It can. Mage often has a lot of defensive builds that it can go for.
Here we see the Maiden of the Lake. Again, we talked about Turtle a little bit, but the Totem Golems happened, so we kind of lost track. The Maiden of the Lake, the new Turtle with the new ability of a 1 mana hero power. Again, usually to make this play work, the Maiden Lake often deals very well with the drops before it. As you can see, it'll kill the 3/2 very easily here. But you kind of have to play a big creature the following turn for your creature to kind of work and for you to maintain board control.
That's right, because then you start hitting the 4 attack minions, the 5 attack minions that you can't really compete with.
Exactly.
Duplicate on the Fallen Hero.
3 damage.
That's 3 damage hero power.
Those do stack.
And those do stack.
That's right.
So I'm just waiting for the montage of like having 6 of them on one board plus a Maiden of the Lake and just machine gunning for like 8.
Well, you have to have the Koldara Drake too, right? So you have 5 of them, Koldara and the Maiden of the Lake.
Okay. So the maximum is 6 damage per hero power.
Right.
Okay. Still sounds pretty ridiculous if you think about it.
No, it's balanced.
It's totally balanced. Maiden of the Lake allows him to play Nexus Champion Sarad and draw a card, but...
And draw a spell with a hero power.
Yeah, I do like the idea of Fallen Hero also getting 3 damage and sniping the 2/3.
That's right. It's more of a play for board control, and it looks pretty fun. I'm hoping that works.
He also could just do the same thing with Frostbolt, but then he messed up the rest of this curve. So this turn is a little bit awkward. Some choices. Does Trump want to value more of a curve, or do he want us to value more of a board control? Because you can squeeze into hero power for 1, leaving you 1 more mana if you go for 2 Fallen Heroes.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's interesting that his deck has Acolyte of Pain. It kind of makes your hero power worse against your own creatures, which often is an asset in Mage.
Right. You don't want to kill your creatures too much. You want to enrage them by 1. You want to draw 1 card with 1 damage on Acolyte.
All right. Well, each player has their own Maiden of the Lake, and Frost Giant again. It's kind of very difficult to assess a deck that would work well with it, but it seems like if your deck will work well with Maiden of the Lake, you know, hero powering for 1 a turn is often a tempo play, where usually your hero power is not at all a tempo play. And if it is a 1-mana hero power, it's just so convenient just to pop it out all the time. And if you're doing that, well, Frost Giant's a good card.
Yeah, there's going to be instances similar to how if you had almost a full hand, you would tap with a Mountain Giant on if you had the Warlock class, so that you can make it slightly cheaper and fill out that 1 extra mana you have. There's going to be instances of that, especially because he has 2 Frost Giants. It's going to come an instance where he can tap his hero power and drop both of them for cheap.
All right. Well, Trump's still thinking about his options here. His hero power is still 1 mana. I believe he had 2 Maiden Lakes out at the same time, but again, the effect does not stack. You cannot have a 0 mana hero power from the cards that we know exist in the game to this point.
I wonder how long Trump's going to hold on to that Sarad. Now, it is one of the most appealing plays based off of its effect, but you know, at the same time, he can build the board reasonable and try to keep it safer so that Sarad can be a game-winning play. So every turn you can keep hero powering, draw cards, impact the board.
Right. So if you're winning by enough, it just gets out of control as it did last game. And Amaz with 2 Frost Giants here that now cost 5 mana apiece.
Yeah. Slowly but surely, we're climbing that ladder of making the Giants really cheap to play.
All right, it goes with 1. Frost Giants are really cool creatures in World of Warcraft. In Wrath of the Lich King, you often had to do quests with them, quests against them, and it was just very awesome to interact. That's one thing I really like about Hearthstone that I guess I haven't mentioned enough recently, that, you know, as a World of Warcraft player, it's so fun to relive some of the moments just a little bit here and there through the sounds, animations, and playstyle of the cards.
See what spell's being drawn here by Sarad. A demon
okay. Well, if
a little awkward.
Well, maybe not. I mean, last game it would have been great.
Yeah, I guess the totems.
Yeah, if you start losing, it's suddenly an excellent card.
And there's no way to directly answer that Sarad, which is problematic because that means more cards are going to be drawn. The Thunderbluff Valiant was drawn, but there's no totems to really buff here.
Yeah. Well, it would work off of itself. I believe the Thunderbluff Valiant, if you play him and play a totem, the totem would be buffed after it's summoned.
Makes sense. Otherwise, you know, for 7 mana that you're investing, you're only getting a 3/6 plus a couple of totems. It doesn't feel that powerful.
All right, looks like Amaz goes with the double totem play for the Draenei Totem Carver.
Yeah, make its own, you know, small mini giant, restore a little bit of health. Let's see here. This is one of those instances where maybe that Demon Wrath is actually pretty useful. What do you think?
Demon Wrath would allow him to trade somewhat favorably. If he wants to clear the board, he'd have to lose his Sarad, which doesn't seem like the best idea.
He already has Sarad and Maiden. Why not just go for...
Now he has 3 pings.
Spells. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
3 pings allows him to kill off some of these minions that are pretty big and help him trade up.
You know what we need right now? We need an Innervate.
Ooh, Innervate would be great. So you have 2 chances to try to get it. Eviscerate!
Oh.
Wow! I have no words to say. Amaz is just absolutely disgusted with that outcome, but for us, it is our entertainment. I love it.
Trump goes for the freeze play again to try to solidify his position on the board. And right now it is solid. Amaz did not draw an answer for any of that.
Nope, he's got Lava Shock, but he's going to need a lot more lava. in order to take this down.
Yeah, it needs a lot more lava than that. He is able to threaten a bigger board with the Giant, but in the last few turns, Amaz has lost board more and more each turn. And with both players playing kind of like steamroll cards that just work off of your hero power and combo the board, it seems like Trump is in a really good spot right now.
Oh,
wow.
my goodness. Blizzard with pings to clean up the board and freeze it. I think this is the deciding point. I commend Shaman for trying, but it doesn't look like it's going to be able to turn around. Perfect.
I don't even think you need a polymorph. I think you just leave it frozen.
Yeah, why not? Why not head crack? I think that makes the most sense. Just go ahead and just combo him down. Yeah,
upgrade. I'm ready.
Because not enough face-to-face damage. I like it.
Yep.
Recycle. Now that's interesting. I think we might be able to see Recycle play for the first time on stream.
I think we've seen it once or twice, but not much more than that. Oh, there's a Coda, but again, you know, these cards are so good, but only if they don't die immediately, which they will.
Right, and this is the holy trio of the cards that were revealed. We have the Dragon, which allows you to ping as many times as you want for cheaper because of the Maiden, and you get spells every single time you use it.
Yeah, the icing on the cake is the Fallen Hero that we're missing. If there were a couple Fallen Heroes in play with a hero power doing 3 for 1 mana.
Yeah. You're correct there.
We can really see how much you can scale your hero power throughout Trump's games so far.
All right, well, I think it's time to see what else we can get here. I'm having a little bit too much fun with what some of these cards
unfortunately, Amaz is dead.
Yeah, exactly. You can just play some of the stuff out. Hellfire! But that kills off his own Serrata. So I guess we're going to keep that off limits.
I'm really hoping Trump goes for some BM play here.
Yep, I'm looking for
Otherwise, it's disappointing.
Head crack. I want him to upgrade for the win. Can we do that? Amaz yelling. Are you kidding me? No, you're not, Amaz. No, we are not.